Okay, so here we go. Welcome everybody. It's we're in the Six Ghosts of Fear, how to outwit the Six Ghosts of Fear. We're into the conversation of, make sure that is muted. Yep. The fear of ill health. The fear of this fear, let's get this over here. Here we go. This fear may be traced to both physical and social heredity. This is important to understand. This is important for a lot of us to understand. I'm going to say particularly me, because when we understand this fear of ill health and social heredity, it's not about, well, I'll let Hill explain it first, and then I'll add my little pluses to it. This fear may be traced to both physical and social heredity. It is closely associated as to its origin with the causes of fear of old age and fear of death. Its origin, right? These are the things. Because it leads one closely to the border of terrible worlds, of which man knows not, but concerning which he has been taught some discomforting stories. So there's a lot in that sentence. Let me unpack it. Well, I guess let me ask this. Do I need to unpack it? Maybe I'm giving too much explanation. If you would like me to unpack it, drop a U in the chat. Or if you want me to keep going, go, okay. Okay, good. So here's the unpacking. It is closely associated as to its origin, right? So this is the fear of ill health. As to its origin. What does it mean, origin? Its beginning, its source, right? With its causes of fear, with the causes of fear. So, what are the causes of fear of old age? I didn't know I could be doing the things I would be doing. I didn't think I'd still be able to do the things. I didn't think I would think the way I think I am now at 60 when I did when I was 30. Just saying, you never do. I'm 60. I'm not a typical 60-year-old. I don't believe I am. Now, there's probably some 60-year-olds who are a hell of a lot more in shape than I am. I just, again, so these are the stories we hear. These are the stories we're told. These are the origin stories we're told of these things that we're going to experience in the future. Think about it. The things we're going to experience in the future, the things we're slated to experience in the future, are told to us by who? By people living in the future. Right? When I was 30, I was talking to people who were 60 living in the future. They were talking to me now. They were living in the future. Do you see why most people are afraid of old age? They're afraid of poverty because they're talking to people who are poor in the future. That's where I'm going to be in the future. It's hard for somebody who's 20 to have a dialogue with somebody who says you can be stronger at 40 than you were at 20. Ah, that's ridiculous. There's no way. It's about being up here. So let me continue before I go off on a whole nother training. And boom. So, because it leads closely to the border of terrible worlds which man knows not. So think about that. If I think about ill health and I go to the border of that world in my mind, how do I go to the border of that world? How do I look into that world without stepping in? How do I go window shopping for ill health? I see people who are sick. I see people who are sick and are not doing what's necessary to change their lifestyle, to try to undo what they've done to themselves, right? What their environment has done to themselves. Does that make sense? So it says, it leads one closely to the border of terrible worlds, which man knows not, but concerning which he has been taught some discomforting stories. That's a secret right there. So you get to the border of a world you know not, right? Because until you step across it, until you penetrate it, until you get sick, there's a couple of people in our organization, in the community right now, who have gone through some pretty, shall we say, tiptoeing moments of life. AJ went through a tiptoeing moment of life, 6 millimeters from death. He didn't sit on the border of the world of ill health. He sat on the border of death, but he was unhealthy. His body was wrecked. So he ventured in. He knows, he doesn't know not about the border of ill health, the world of ill health, the world of disease, the world of struggle. He knows it. He was on the border of death, which he knows not. Michelle knows death. When she was having Mason, she kind of slipped away for a little bit. Maybe it was her like little respite. But the doctor said we lost her on the table. Now she doesn't remember anything. Maybe through hypnosis she would remember some stuff. It was 30 seconds, which is what, if there's a great book I'm reading, an amazing book I'm listening to right now. As I go through more of it, I'll share it with you. It is written by a neuropsychologist, a brain surgeon, just absolutely brilliant, and has very little to do with the living brain. I'll just tease you with that. So this idea of, we know these borders of ill health. Ill health is one of the 6 ghosts of fear. And we don't know about it. Ill health, we know about, I don't feel good. But these big things where you change everything, few people know about. More than should, but few know about. So it takes us to this border, which we know not, but which stories, what's it say? But which we have been taught some discomforting story. Why doesn't anybody talk about the good of ill health? AJ can talk about the good. It's the way he shifts it. It's the way he changes it. It's the way he now tells the story. It's to change the way you look at things, and the things you look at change. It's not about doing certain things. It's about doing things in a certain way. Dying is boring. Exactly. So that's the power of what happens in ill health. When we start to, anything that changes us for less than, we wind up building a story of how we became less. It's not that way. Let's continue. Otherwise, I'll do a seminar on this. The opinion is somewhat general also, that certain medical people in, what is this? I like this, but I gotta kind of hold the book so I can see it closer. It's just out of my, I don't need glasses for reading. Anyways. The opinion is somewhat general also that certain unethical people engaged in the business of selling health have not had a little to do with keeping alive the fear of ill health. Ooh. Could it be network marketing?
Bonus.
Yeah. So the opinion is somewhat general also that certain unethical people engaged in the business of selling health. Now, this is 1937. Watkins was around. There was a couple other network marketing companies around that are no longer around. They were the scam artists, the selling the magical mystery potions, right? The fairs. And they were selling health by proclaiming ill health. Your body's already ill. You need this to stay healthy. So how many of us are selling poverty? Wait, what? Do you realize the majority of people in sales, I'm going to go out on an, I'm broadcasting this live to YouTube. So I'll probably get some letters or text. The majority of network marketers sell poverty. Wait, what? If you speak to your comp plan, you are selling poverty. You are selling them. You are selling them. You are selling them. They're poor. You are selling them. They don't have a good team leader from your team's organization. Anything you're talking about that's a benefit of yours is being sold to them that they don't have it. Now, it's true they don't have your company. They don't have your income model. They cannot see that they are buying a way out of their pain. You are selling them into their slavery. That's not what I want to do. I get it. This is why it's important for you to understand Wallace D. Wattles' moment. It isn't about doing certain things. It's about doing those things in a certain way that cause a different result. The majority of network marketers sell poverty. They talk about riches, but they talk about it. And they sell you, the listener, on the idea that you're poor. Opinions are like eyebrows. I got a couple. This is not a hard, fast rule. This is Sean G. Murphy's opinion. And you are more than welcome to have a dialogue to adjust my thinking. Good luck. It'll be a fun conversation. You might learn something. The opinion is somewhat general. Also, that certain unethical people engaged in the business of selling health have had not a little to do with keeping alive the fear of ill health. In the main, man fears ill health because of terrible pictures of what have been planted in his mind and what may have happened if death should overtake him. He also fears it because of the economic toll which it may claim. A reputable physician estimated that 75%, this is 1937, a reputable physician estimated that 75% of all people who visit physicians for professional service are suffering from, anybody want to guess? You got the book? Hypochondria. Imaginary illness. Oh, don't say you didn't. Tell me you won't. A reputable physician estimated that 75% of all people who visit physicians for professional services are suffering from imaginary illness. We call it a big word, hypochondria, imaginary illness. It has been shown most convincingly that the fear of disease, even where it is not the slightest cause for fear, often produces the physical symptoms of the disease feared. Okay, we're going to pause right there for a second. Think about this. The words are so true. The words are so true. The words are so true. If thinking about the disease produces the symptoms of the disease, and yet they're not with the disease, it becomes an imaginary illness that they are convinced that they need the pills, that they are convinced that they need the treatment, that they are convinced, right? And if you don't give me the answer, listen carefully. So type this in the chat or somebody unmute and say it. If I go to a doctor and I don't like his diagnosis and I don't like his solutions, I don't like his prognosis, what do most people do?
Go for a second opinion.
So how many people in poverty go for a second opinion? Bonus. How many people are you talking to have gone to second, third, second 100, 200, 300, 400 opinions to verify they're poor, to verify their story? And you come along because they say, I just don't feel right. I just don't want to be here. And you come along and say, you don't have to be. And yet, your words, your frequency, your signal nice, dreamy new home. You can have all of this. You can create leveraged income, residual income. You can have a team work with you. You can work part-time, make full-time income. You can make CEO, you can make executive income on a part-time basis. You can do this, and it's all great sales. It's all great sales. It's all great sales. Yet your signal, your frequency, the vibration with which your words leave your mouth, as true as all of the imagery is, it is a lie because you yet believe it. Because you are telling this story not from your future conflicts. You're telling this story from your past pain points. And it comes across in your words. It comes across in your body language. Right? The words are 7% of a dialogue. And most people don't even work on the 7%. It's the 93% that's wrecking your business. It's the 93% that's wrecking your success. And we don't want to work on that because that is these three fingers pointing back. That doesn't work. That doesn't work. You don't work. You don't work. You don't work. Because you are not willing to change the way you look at things. The biggest shift in sales is you can start with a smile. You can start with breathing. What's your ritual before you have a conversation with anyone? Anyone. Well, I mean, I only do it when I'm going to present. You don't practice it enough. Do you love what you do? I mean, love what you do. If that was all you could do, is this all you could do? Are you doing all you could do with all you could do? When is it time to stop playing? My goal isn't to convince. It's maybe to inspire you for the day you've had enough. Because I can tell you, you ain't there yet. You ain't there yet. You lie and you say, I'm tired of this. I'm going to do this. You're going to do it the same way you did it last year. Oh, a little bit better. You will have the, what do they call it? You will be working with the cost of living increase. You'll have a cost of living increase, the percentage of increase, right? Like a dollar today is the 25 cents of 20 years ago. I don't know what the numbers are. Don't quote me. I'm not an economic scholar. My point is that you have been to the edge. You have looked into the world of riches and you have heard stories about the world of riches and you know nothing about the world of riches. You have some crumbs that have fallen out of those worlds. You have some crumbs that have fallen. Some people have walked out of the world of riches and said, you deserve to be in there. Imagine you're outside this gorgeous restaurant serving the food you love and playing the music you care for. And they have the aroma. It's the smell of the food is perfect. And the aroma in the air, if you love cigars or pipe or none, and you love the smell of flowers, it's like it is everything you want is just on the other side of that glass. And you catch somebody's eye that you know that's in there, and you're like, oh my gosh, I know them. And they come out and they go, what are you doing out here? Come on in. You're like, I haven't qualified yet. I haven't qualified yet. What do you mean qualified? The door's open. You could come on in. Yeah, but I'm not dressed appropriately. What you don't know, as soon as you walk through the doors, you're wearing the most amazing outfit. See, you believe that you got to be it on the outside. You can't be it on the outside. You can't be the thing on the inside that you want on the outside. You can't be it on the inside if you're staying on the outside. You got to go in, baby. You got to go all the way in. You can't step halfway through the door. Some of you got your hand on the door And what happens is if your hand is on the door and somebody wants to go in where your hand is on that door, what do? You wind up opening the door. You wind up being the doorman or doorwoman to your dreams while you watch people go through. And they don't even tip you. It's a whole different training. Take a big breath. A reputable physician said estimated 75% of all people who visit physicians for professional services are doing it for imaginary illness. 75% of all people who come to network marketing, who come to personal development trainings, are suffering imaginary illnesses of their personal development. Powerful and mighty is the human mind. It builds or destroys. Playing upon this common weakness of fear and ill health, dispensers of patent medicines have reaped fortunes. Dispensers of patent personal development programs have reaped fortunes. Put in what you want. Owners of network marketing companies who have dispensed patented we have the world's best comp plans have reaped fortunes. That's my Sheeta ingredient. This form of imposition upon credulous humanity became so prevalent some 20 years ago, 1917, that Collier's Weekly magazine conducted a bitter campaign against some of the worst offenders in the patent medicine business. During the flu epidemic, which broke out during the World War, that was World War I, the mayor of New York City took drastic steps to check the damage which people were doing themselves through their inherent fear of ill health. He called the newspaper men and said to them, "Gentlemen, I feel it necessary to ask you to not publish any scary headlines concerning the flu epidemic unless you cooperate with me. We will have a situation which we cannot control." The newspapers quit publishing stories about the flu, and with 1 month, the epidemic had been successfully checked. If somebody had the cojones to have social media stop talking about riches, we'd have a lot less poor people. Wait, what? It's the method with which they do it. I can talk about riches and make you feel poor. I can talk about riches and you go, get me a ticket, get me the hell on that bus. Isn't that true? Isn't that true? Haven't you heard people do that? You got to check your words, check your vibration. Through a series of experiments conducted some years ago, it was proven that people may be made ill by suggestion. People may be made poor by suggestion. Tune in for more news. We conducted this experiment by causing 3 acquaintances to visit the victims, each whom asked the question, "What ails you? You look terribly ill." The first questioner usually provoked a grin and nonchalant, "Oh, nothing, I'm all right," from the victim. The second questioner usually was answered with the statement, I don't know exactly, but I do feel badly." So what they're saying is that 3 people went to the same person and asked them the question, "What ails you? You look terribly ill." First one says, "Nothing." The first response is nothing. Second one is, "Yeah, I kind of feel bad." The third question was usually met with a frank admission that the victim was actually feeling ill. How many times are you asked, "Are you rich? Are you rich? Are you rich? Are you rich? Do you love poverty? Are you rich? Are you rich?" What do you get to think about? What are you really thinking about? What are you thinking about? What do you see on the news? What is your algorithm? F the algorithm. What is your algorithm teaching you about you? What is your algorithm wanting you to remember about your pain and suffering? Try this on an acquaintance, and if you doubt that it will make him uncomfortable, Yet do not carry the experiment too far. There is a certain religious sect whose members take vengeance upon their enemies by the hexing method. They call it placing a spell on the victim. There is overwhelming evidence that disease sometimes begins in the form of a negative thought impulse. How many happy people do you know are really sick? Just asking. Such an impulse may be passed from one mind to another by suggestion or created by an individual in his own mind. A man who was blessed with more wisdom than this incident might indicate once said, "When anyone asks me how I feel, I always want to answer by knocking them down." Doctors send patients into new climates for their health because the change of mental attitude is necessary. The seed of fear of ill health lives in every human mind. Worry, fear, discouragement, disappointment in love and business affair cause the seed to germinate and grow. The recent business depression kept the doctors on the run because every form of negative thinking, because every form of negative thinking may cause ill health. How many of us know kids when they were little would get sick before a test? I mean, some of them really raised their temperature, right? Drop a T in the chat if you knew anybody who ever got sick before a test. Disappointment in business and in love are at the head of the list of causes of fear of ill health. A young man suffered from disappointment in love, which sent him to the hospital. For months, he hovered between life and death. A specialist in suggestive therapeutics, that's what they called it, suggestive therapeutics, was called in. The specialist changed nurses, placing him in charge of the very charming young woman who began, by prearrangement with the doctor, to make love to him the first day of her arrival on the job. Within 3 weeks, the patient was discharged from the hospital, still suffering, but with an entirely different modality. He was in love again. The remedy was a hoax. Yet the patient and the nurse were later married. Both are in good health at the time of this writing. Symptoms of ill health. The symptoms are almost universal. The symptoms of this almost universal fear of ill health are autosuggestion, the habit of negative use of self-suggesting by looking in for and expecting to find the symptoms of all kinds of disease, enjoying imaginary illness, enjoying it. A lot of people enjoy their pain, and a lot of people enjoy their poverty. I know that doesn't sound right. A lot of people enjoy their sickness. It's the only way they get recognition. If all of a sudden you became as wealthy as you dream you are, would you be talking to 80% of the people you talk to? Would you be spending time with them if you reach the level of riches that your dreams have you pushing for, striving for, working for? Would your daily activities include now, it didn't mean that you're going to have to turn them away and they're no longer friends. Would you be spending the amount of time with them simply because of the things and the new activities and the new businesses you run and the new charities that you found and all of the things? Would you be spending any time with those individuals? Enjoying imaginary illness and speaking of it as being real, the habit of trying all fads and isms, in quotes, isms, recommended by others as having therapeutic value, talking to others of operations, accidents, and other forms of illness, experimenting with diets, physical exercise, reducing systems without professional guidance, trying home remedies, patent medicines, and quack remedies. Number 2, so autosuggestion. Hypochondria is the second one, the habit of talking of illness, talking of poverty. Most of us are hypochondriatic poverty people. All you do is talk about poverty. All you do is talk about where you've been. Tell me where you're going. I don't want to hear the hypochondria of what you've been and how crappy this is, and they don't do this and they don't blah 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 blah. Ugh. The habit of talking of illness, concerning the mind upon disease and expecting its appearance until a nervous break occurs. Nothing that comes in bottles can cure this condition. It is brought on by negative thinking, and nothing but positive thought can affect the cure. Hypochondria, a medical term for imaginary disease, is said to do as much damage on occasion as the disease one fears might do. Most so-called cases of nerves comes from imaginary illness. Exercise. Fear of ill health often interferes with proper physical exercise and results in overweight by causing one to avoid outdoor life. Susceptibility. Are you susceptible to poverty? Are you susceptible, right? When somebody has a weak immune system, they are susceptible. Most of us have a weak success. Most of us have a weak riches immune system. Our immune system is very weak as it relates to riches. Our poverty system is perfectly operating. Susceptibility, the fear of ill health breaks down nature's body's resistance and creates favorable condition for any form of disease one may contact. The fear of ill health is often related to the fear of poverty. No, I'm not frozen. Especially in the cause of hypochondriacs, who consistently worries about the possibility of having to pay doctor's bills, hospital bills, etc. This type of person spends much time preparing for sickness. How much is for preparing for poverty? I got to make enough. I just got to get enough. I got a bill coming up. I got to make enough. And you are preparing for poverty to not have anything more. What bonus? Yeah, this sucks. Unless it doesn't. This hurts. Unless it doesn't. This type of person spends much time preparing for sickness, talking about death, saving money for cemetery lots and burial expenses. Self-coddling. Oh, it's gonna be okay. You're gonna be okay. You're so good. The habit of making a bid for sympathy. They won't, they're not saying yes to me. Oh, it's okay. Network marketers are such coddlers. This is my assholeness coming out. The habit of making a bid for sympathy, using imaginary illness, imaginary poverty to lure as a lure. People often resort to this trick to avoid work. What? This habit, I love this. Most people don't laugh when they read this chat. The habit of feigning illness to cover plain laziness or to serve as an alibi for lack of ambition. Intemperance, the habit of using alcohol or narcotics to destroy pain. Or we could add in there the habit of using alcohol, narcotics, social media, scrolling to destroy pains such as headaches, neuralgia, etc., instead of eliminating the cause. The habit of reading about illness, the habit of reading about poverty, the habit of reading about other people's riches and you don't have it, the habit of reading about illness and worrying over the poverty of being stricken by it, the habit of reading patient medical advertisements. And that's the fear. The fear of ill health. Questions, comments, thoughts? I can tell you November's coming and it's going to be one hell of a ride. We may not be done with the book, but it's going to be, there's going to be some big changes in RCR land. Hey, good morning, AJ.
Howdy. How are you? I'm waiting for it. Wait for it. How are you? How's it going?
Outstanding.
Damn it.
I'm sick. I feel a little under the weather.
Oh, you are? I know you're not. Don't take this the wrong way. I have the best intention. I'd like to share an experience that you allowed me to have, obviously, with folks at home to demonstrate how this works in real life. This is all great in theory, but let's see how that works in real life. So for everybody, let me tell you a quick story. while I had one of the best times of my life at the ranch with the young man behind the camera, um, one morning he comes up to me and he says, "Let's do an experiment." I'm like, "Okay, whatever. I'm gonna cut grass or what?" I already cut grass. I don't know what else you want me to do. Joking aside, he brings out this device, and now, Sean, please, if I do get something wrong, please correct me because I really want this message to sink in.
Yep.
So he brings out something. Yes, there you go. Can you talk so that the camera points at you?
Hey, hi, how everybody? This is called the Mendy. And so I brought out this device and put it on him.
Yeah. So this medieval torture device that he pulled up, he puts it on my head. There's an app on your phone that's connected to the device, and what the device does, the gentleman on the other side of the world will explain a lot better. But as I understood it, tracks stuff in your brain, tracks your brain activity, and so on and so forth. Here is the kicker. He puts it on me. He says, "Close your eyes and think." I was like, "Okay, think about what?" He says, "Just think." I was like, "Okay, yes, sir." So put it on, started thinking, and on the app, you have this little ball that kind of goes up and down, or this kind of avatar or whatever, and it goes up and down. And what we realized at the end of the experiment, by the way, he said I did good, so that's good. Anyway, as I was thinking about certain stuff, this ball went up and down, and at one point, I started thinking about my goals. I started thinking about my DMP. I started thinking about what I want to achieve, where I want to be. Started feeling happy, feeling joyful, feeling grateful for where I was at that point in time, and the ball just went up like a rocket. And then for a split second, I mean, just for 1 second, I went back and I started thinking about my time in the hospital last year. And well, let me tell you this much. The results plummeted. Okay. I mean, they just went down and beyond. So what the experiment showed me at the time, and the message I want to send across for really to sink in for everybody listening to this, is that even we're not even going to go as far as talking with someone about poverty or something negative, anything negative. Even by you thinking about it, your cognitive ability, brain function, emotions, everything connected with the body and the brain, it just goes down like crazy. Which the kind gentleman from the RCR was kind enough to demonstrate to me. So I figured at that time that even by thinking about anything negative in your life can have a deep impact right there on this. I mean, as you're thinking about it right there on the spot, it can have a huge impact on your overall brain function, body function, emotion, drop in emotions, and so on and so forth. So the message I want to send across, and I really hope this will help people, is that you gotta shut it off like entirely. Because I was going up, 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 up. For a split second, I started thinking about it. What happened was I opened my eyes because I wanted to see what happened if I thought about something negative. I opened my eyes, the ball, avatar, whatever it is, just goes down, 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 just goes down and beyond. And then I got frustrated that my results are going down now because I thought about something negative, and I went into this spiral that lasted for maybe half a minute, maybe 30, 45 seconds. And then when I closed my eyes again, I was like, okay, let me not mess this up. Let me get my results back. I again closed my eyes. I started thinking about my goals, about my DMP. I started thinking about where I want to be in life and that I'm grateful for having that experience in the ranch and being with Sean and so on and so forth. And would you look at that? The results came back over the previous point where I came down and then some afterwards. And then in the end, according to Sean, at least, I mean, I had no idea what was going on, but according to Sean, my results were good. And again, this just goes to say that if you think about it for even a split second, it can completely change your whole persona by 180 degrees in just one split of a second. So I would strongly encourage everybody to try and focus on the positive end of things as much as you can, because this impacts your result. You might go in a spiral, so on and so forth. And that's where you actually get unstable energy, I think. I mean, that's exactly how I felt, at least. So hope this helps. And thank you, Sean, by the way, for the experiment.
Well, and here's the thing, a couple of things. One, you now have evidence to see how you're thinking. And what this measures, what this primarily measures, is it's not measuring his thoughts, it's measuring the blood flow inside of the prefrontal cortex. Your ability to manage it, to focus it, to do things. It's Mendi, MENDI, MENDI. And it's a couple $100. I got it when I saw my friend, it'll come to me in just a second, Ray Higdon wearing it. And we talked about it a little bit. So the point is that when he had a couple of things, if you listen to the story that AJ was sharing, the experience, when he opened his eyes to watch the result, it confirmed what he was looking for in the result. See, you can open your eyes and expect, wow, I thought of that negative thing, yet my energy is going to go up because of the way I decided to use that story. His energy went down, and then the spiral started. How many of us are looking around and we constantly see the spiral, and we never close our eyes enough to get our image back? We're just using all of the outside evidence to keep us in our spiral, because that's our good story. That puts us in pain. When we're in pain, people get to go, "Aw." That's how we get attention. Nobody's going to go, "Oh, you won, you made $10,000 this week. That's awesome." Nobody's going to say that. Very few people around, they will say that, but you know their frequency around it. So this idea of ill health, this idea of poverty, fear of poverty, it's all we think about. It's all we talk about. I was at a table with 3 amazing 7-figure income earners in the network marketing business, which means they've done some great things to build organizations. 80%, 100% of the dialogue was from this moment in the past. Not one person at that table. There was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 out of the 8 people, out of the 9 people at the table, 7 of us that had done wildly well in network marketing. And I just listened. Not one of them talked about a goal they were working on. Not one. Not one. Let me think. No, not one. They talked about the things of their past. Some of them have been through a little bit of a challenge with a particular company. That's all they talked about. And you wonder why you struggle. It would be so easy if you just talked about where you were going. How the hell are you going to drive your car looking in the rearview mirror? It's why the windshield is bigger than the rearview mirror. It was fast. Now, I wasn't surprised. Not one bit. I came with the hope, because these were new people I hadn't met before who'd done wildly well. I'd never been in their presence before. I'd seen them on stages. I've seen them on videos. I've watched them on Zooms. I said one of them, I said, one of my bucket lists, one of my dreams was to be on stage with you. And it looks like now that we've had this connection and relationship, we're going to be on stages together sooner than I ever thought possible. She's like, "Oh my God, I can't believe you said that." So anyways, my point is that when we get around people, even the most what we would consider the most successful people we know. So how do they do it? It's sheer effort and energy and focus and saying no. Could you imagine how powerful is having 7 multi-million-dollar income earners? And the other one's probably not far behind. They've made millions of dollars in their lifetime, just not in this profession. Could you imagine if 9 people sat at dinner and talked about dreams instead of what happened and who was an asshole and this, that, or the other? God, it would be incredible. Would have been incredible. So I had my own council meeting while they were having their questions, comments, thoughts. Could you imagine if you sat down at a dinner table and said, hey, listen, we're just going to have conversation. We're just going to talk about our goals and our futures. Could you imagine how short the dinner would be? Hey, Gigi, good morning, my love. Good morning, Gigi Francois. Hey, sending prayers to everybody in Jamaica, Haiti, and all those with the storm. So,
yes. Okay. Few things. One, I just realized something because there's this guy at my job, and every single time you ask him how he is, he's always like, "I'm wonderful. Everything is wonderful. Life is wonderful," and we call him Mr. Wonderful. And like you always saying that you're outstanding, like it just reminds me of him. And every single time you see him, like you can be in a bad mood, and whenever he comes around, you're like, "Oh, everybody's always in a good mood. Like everybody loves this man." So I'm like, well, maybe it's because he's always so wonderful. That's one point. Two, when you were talking about going on social media, and I can't even count how many times I've gone on social media and it's made me feel poor. And I could be, I'm being 100% honest with you. Over the years, I don't know how many times I've logged on to social media. I'm like, I need to get off of here. And then it makes me be like, I need to go make more money. And I just get off angry because I'm like, I need to make more money just by just scrolling. But the main reason why I raised my hand is today at work. It's gonna be a tough day because they're announcing to the team that we're having a renovation and they're gonna be closed for 9 months, and a lot of people are gonna lose their job in April. And I'm one of those people that's gonna lose their job in April.
how
So for
awesome.
me, it was weird to them because I think they expected me to like be emotional and be sad, and I was just like, life goes on, and there's a part of me that's like, I didn't want this job anyway, but then there's another part of me that's like, I know I'm gonna be fine. Like I'm gonna be good.
Do you
Something's gonna
realize
work.
you've got 6 months to get your ass in gear?
That's what I was thinking too.
How cool. You now listen, you have a mandatory DMP in place.
Yes.
How cool is that? See, otherwise it would be a wish list. Now it's a goal. A goal is a dream with a date and a deadline becomes a goal. How awesome is it that when you decide at the end of April, you will have created enough residual income on your social media platforms that you don't really have to go back to work?
That's the goal. Retention bonus if I stay till April. But there's part of me like, I might want to stay till April, but that's besides the point. But I'm like, in my mind, I'm like, I guess this is kind of what I've been asking for.
Sure it is.
I don't feel like I would have left on my own, but the fact that I'm like essentially getting like eliminated, it's like, oh wow.
No,
really
change the words, my love. Change the word. You are getting
okay.
Advanced.
Okay, valid.
You are getting advanced, not eliminated, advanced. See the language we use, ladies and gentlemen? She is getting advanced in her dreams. Now you can say, I'm getting well.
I don't know where eliminated came from.
Dr. Freud to the lobby. Dr. Freud to the lobby. This is why if you pay attention to the people's words, who you are speaks so loud, I don't need to hear what you're saying.
Yeah, that was strange because I've never heard that. I've never said that before in my life.
Well, Dr. Freud to the lobby. That's a big thing because here's what's happening. You are literally eliminating your excuse not to work on yourself. Yeah, so this is awesome. So lay out your plan and send me your plan. We'll review it. What plan? So so ladies and gentlemen, this is what's called reverse engineering. Look at the income that you currently have of the job that you're not necessarily excited about. Is that the amount that you need on a monthly basis, or do you need a little bit more? Then figure out what the number is, and then let's reverse engineer it, that what we need to do over the course, how we need to escalate, how we need to scale up to that dollar figure. So let's say it's $5,000 a month. Let's say it's $7,000 a month. We got to scale backwards. We've got 6 months. That means we got to do 1,000 in November. That means we got to do 2,000 in December. That means we got to do 3,000 in January, 4,000 in February, 5,000 in March, so that when April comes, you're there.
Okay.
Did you hear a voice?
Sorry.
You just made this shit real.
I mean, it is real.
And now you're sweating. It's like, oh God. It is real. It's coming, baby. And I want you to be free. Now, I can't want it more than you want it. I gave you the blueprint.
Mhm.
We just now have to go become the person in April that says, thank you for the retention bonus. Thank you for this. Thank you for freeing me. Could you imagine if you
I'm not coming back.
What's that?
But I'm not coming back.
Yeah, no,
Don't
thank
wait
you.
for my call back.
Thank you for freeing me. Thank you for giving me a reason to take care of me. I love here's the thing. Here's the thing, Gigi. You're gonna have to be very, very. This is how the apple of temptation. When you start to work on you, and you all of a sudden show up, you know that April's coming. You're like, this is okay. I'm gonna give 110% that I was given 90% before, and that extra 30% makes a difference, and they're gonna want you to run the damn thing. And they're going to entice you. This is what the devil uses, right? Not witting the devil. They use money as a reason to keep you stuck. They're called the golden handcuffs.
Yeah.
And so they're going
to. Oh my God, that's crazy. Because I was thinking about that. I was like, because I was already feeling like wanting to leave. Like I literally said I was going to turn my 2-week notice at the end of November.
No, let them pay for your growth. You are going to college to get paid. My daddy said, if you never go to school and get paid, that's a great school to go to. Let them pay for it. Now, you may wind up retiring sooner from that position. I don't ever want you to use the word quit. You don't quit. I'm not a quitter. I don't quit things. I retire. I retired from poverty. I didn't quit poverty. I retired from it. I got my Timex watch because they couldn't afford a Rolex because they're a poverty-based mindset group. Takes a licking, keeps on ticking. So yeah, understand this. You're going to allow them to pay you to work full-time there so you can do what Jim Rohn says, working full-time on your income, but part-time on your legacy. Now, he used a different word. But part-time, if you work part-time and you, in the next 5 months, create the skills necessary to last you for the next 50 years, isn't this a great 6-month crash course? Yeah. Get your ass in gear. I love you.
Me too.
Show up here regularly if time permits. Okay. You'll again, it's the facts that you started off your conversation with are still the facts. All we've done is change the way we look at them.
Yeah.
And now you feel good about it because you know they're actually going to ask you to run the whole damn thing, and you're going to get to say, unless you can do 100K a month, that's where I'm going to be at the end of 2026. 50K a month, I'm going to be at 50. Imagine if you were 25K a month at the end of 2026.
50K.
Okay, 50K. Then April is a great place for us to be at 5K. Because then here's the thing, once you get to 5,000 a month, ladies and gentlemen, the hardest numbers you're going to hit is 2,500, 7,500, 13,000. 13,000 is this place where just the wall is 72 feet thick for some reason. Then the next one is 35,000. And then the next one is 85,000. And these are just these points that just absolutely, you got to learn to become a mole, dig underneath. You got to become a pigeon and fly over there's just a shift in your mental attitude. So until you can get to 5K, this idea, it's almost impossible for people to break free. 5K to 75K. 75K is just this. Somebody stole the wheels off your car.
Mhm.
And if we know that it's coming in, you can blow right through it. I've helped people blow right through it. They've never had to stop. If you guys remember, Nano, right? He worked with me for 2 months and he jumped through 2 ranks inside of 30 days, which nobody had done before in his organization, up, line, and down, which they started putting him on stages, and then everything else changed again. But he jumped through 2. He was going to quit when he came to the ANMP. We had time together, talked to his teams, did all of that stuff. What the hell is that? Talked to and had all this stuff. And in the following 45 days, he went through 2 ranks because I had 15 days of the end of this month. And just kind of like now, the end of the month and the beginning of the next month, he jumped through 2 ranks. And his income went to $5,000 a month from 0. So I say that to say, you've got some great time to learn your skills and still get paid for the next few months. Most people, I'm going to quit. And then they wind up in true poverty mindset, and they wind up having to take what gets them by.
Mhm.
You're somebody who is better than getting by. You got skills, girl, I ain't got. And so I can help you with the skills I got.
Okay. We don't help each other.
Mm-hmm. Could you imagine to have this beautiful, gorgeous, sexy woman of chocolate loving and on a call with me? People be like, dude, how do you know that hottie?
Okay.
I'm just saying, I know it sounds creepy because we know each other. I'm like your big brother. My point is that people don't know the depth of the people who are in my world. And when I show them, they're like, how do you know her? That's Gigi. We've known each other for 5 years. Well, why haven't you ever brought her out before? It's Gigi's coming to the world party. I love you.
I love you too.
I know. My little prodigal girl. Welcome back.
Let me go to work now.
Hey, I love you. Shake that thing. Shake your booty. That's you. You need your little McClendon attitude. Get yourself going. Okay, I got this. I'm in with this. Put your music on, dance around, put those rose-colored glasses on, and just say, "It's time, baby. It's time, baby girl."
It is. It's time.
I'm ready for it. I listen. Y'all were at the launch party of Gigi Francois. Yay!
You guys have a great day. I love y'all.
Okay, love you too, girl.
Yeah.
This is so much fun. This is so much fun. Anyone else? Thoughts, comments, questions, takeaways, take with yous. Fear of ill health, understanding that we go to the borders of the world. We know nothing of the world, yet told some horrible stories of the world. And that's all we think about. I don't want to go there. I don't want to go there. I don't want to be sick. I don't want to be sick. And guess what happens? Son of a bitch, I'm sick. How'd that happen? It's so funny when you know the rest of the story. Anyone else? Last thoughts, comments, questions, takeaways?
Hey, I'm just journaling about something you said right now as you talked, because I didn't want to miss it. You said one word that impacts, I think, a lot of lives, for the better or worse, which is attitude. And I remember back in the day, because attitude is huge in football, right? Your football coaches, anybody play high school football, college football, they always talk about attitude, because you got to be aggressive, you got to do this and that, right? But then that translates into other things of life as well. I'd say maybe other pillars in life, and that's huge. So thank you for mentioning that.
You know that phrase, right? You've heard that phrase, your attitude will determine your altitude.
Yes, sir.
Yep. And that's all it is. Listen, every one of you, we could have a similar story that Gigi shared with us. This is the vulnerability, right? She comes to this space. She comes to this place. She knows it's a safe place. She knows it's a safe place to feel unsafe. Does that make sense? Are you a safe place that people can feel safe to be unsafe, to be, we would call it vulnerable. But the unsafe place is that she said, in April, I'm going to be out of a job. Change the way we look at it. How exciting is that? Wayne Dyer said to somebody who was losing their job one time, congratulations on you now have 360 degrees of opportunity. And over the course of the next 6 months, she'll have 50 degrees of opportunity or 180 degrees of opportunity. When that is no longer any part of your focus, you now have 360 degrees. So why not, when you're not there in your thing that's keeping you poor, look around and see what's all possible. The challenge is when we say, I don't want to be here, I'm going to become rich. We only look down this path of rich and we can't see it because we've never been there. So therefore we can't see anything in there. And we go, I don't see how this is going to work. I don't see how it's possible at all. Which is why you need a mentor, somebody to teach you how to do something you couldn't do. And listen, Napoleon Hill is my mentor. If I didn't read this book, there's a good chance we wouldn't be having this conversation. If I didn't start this 40 years ago, we might not be having this conversation. But we are, and we're here, and I'm excited. I love you tons. I'm your head brain training, brain scrambling. Let's outwit the 6 Ghosts of Fear misfit. I'll see y'all where?
At the next
The next
event.
event.
Next event. Somebody give me some Costa Ricas.
Pura
Pura
vida.
vida.
Pura vida. We love you, Mark. And some Lydias.
Peace
Peace
be
be
with
with
you.
us.
Peace be with us all. And the queen of helping you have more of what you want and less of what you don't, Jessie Lee Ward.
Boss
Hey,
lady.
baby.
Boss Lee. And a little white fluffy.
Gurgly, gurgly,
Girly.
I love you, Fee. It's funny how Fee shows up in Molly. I know they're kind of similar breeds. Yeah, she will do things that only Fee would do. And it's, I think, just Fee's kind of worked her way into Molly. It is the greatest thing ever. Because there'll be times where she'll be doing something that Fiona would do. And I would, Fiona! And she kind of looks at me side-eyed. Like, you know, I'm not Fiona, right? I go, but you're doing what she did. She goes, I know. It's the greatest thing ever. All right, everybody. See you tomorrow. Love you tons. Bye for now, Z's.